Good evening everybody, and a very warm welcome to Berringer. And today is a layout update for you, and it's basically general knowledge because there's lots to talk about, and it covers some new bits and pieces that have turned up on the layout. Basically rolling stock, fleet vehicles, also a new loco. Also there's been work over at the Fiddle yard, and also plenty of work done at Morewood station, which is where the majority of my time has been spent. So without further ado, we'll get straight on with it. So here we are over at Fiddle yard 1, and I bet you didn't think we were going to go to Fiddle yard 2 when I said this work been done on Fiddle yard 2. But we're actually here at Fiddle yard 1 because a lot of work has been done here. And also there's been some rolling stock that's been added to the layout, which is also parked up here. So we thought we'd sort of go through it all whilst we're here. I've added the numbers on the top. As you can see, it only goes as far as 8 up here, and then down towards the end it goes as far as 14. And that's because from this one, which is number 8, it then sort of spreads out and fans out up to 14 lanes, which covers my 2-car DMUs and my single-car units. Now, the biggest change that's happened here, some of you may have noticed already and some of you may not have, is that originally I was going to put a double layer, and basically I've decided against it. And the reason why I decided against it was I just felt that, again, when I built a Fiddle yard double deck last time over where Morewood is now, many moons ago, it was getting a bit tricky to try and get my hand underneath, and to be honest with you, I was pretty happy with what I have as it stands. The only thing I really wasn't overly happy about was to do with my HST, which is parked up on number 1. So basically, if we look at number 1 and number 2, which is the two far corner ones, there was actually a double point going out, and the original plan was that it was going to go out to the yard onto road 1, and then when it came up along 1 to climb up to the next level. Now, because I'm not doing that anymore, I've removed the 2 points and basically had 2 straight lines all the way down, so there's now no point work down this end of the layout of the Fiddle yard, I should say. And what I wanted to do is try and see if I could fit my HST, because that is my longest fixed rake. And the reason why I wanted the HST at the back was because it's the most awkward place to get to. And with the HST having 2 power cars, I wouldn't need to uncouple and run round and all the rest of it. And as you can see, it's a tight squeeze, but it does actually fit without, say, the 158 next to it scuffing it when it come out here, this point here, because that was the bit I was worried about, is that when the trains came out here it might sort of rub up against the HST. So that's not a problem. Also, originally I had the HST parked up on number 7, so, and it kind of got restricted because it would actually fit on number 6, but the problem is I had a very bad problem here. And the problem is with this, and I believe it is quite a common problem with these freeway points, is that when the wheels run over the points, especially on going this way, which is going out that way, the HST just didn't like it. It wasn't actually the HST power cars, it was to do with the coaches, the Mark III coaches. And I checked the back-to-back gauges on them, and to be honest with you, the buffet car was the worst one. It was the one that had the worst tolerances. It was so far out. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I put the back-to-back gauge on it, and it just wouldn't fit. And with some of those coaches, it resolved a lot of the issues going over this point. But the buffet car was still causing problems, and the problem is it was riding up on the, I'm not really too sure how to call it, on basically this part. So basically there was like a burr or something like that on it that would raise the flange of the wheel and then make it derail. So what I did is I took my Dremel and basically I put a sanding unit on it, and basically I sanded it down and filed it down, and basically that has cured it, and that has made, so if you do have this problem with this three-way point, just keep a close eye, because that's what I was doing. I was just like, I couldn't work it out, and I just kept a close eye on the bogies to see where it was going wrong, and I worked it out. I decided to do that. It was a bit of a chance because these points aren't cheap, they're about 30 quid, but it has enormously improved the running, because obviously the tolerance on the actual point work was not quite right either. So there's obviously a burr or something that it kind of caught, and then it raised, made the flange of the wheel raise and derail. But now I've taken the sander to it, it runs really nicely. And so now I've got the option of putting the HST on number 1, number 6 and number 7. So those are my 3 longest lanes. Fiddle Yard 2, incidentally, is actually longer in length to Fiddle Yard 1. So whatever fits in this fiddle yard will definitely fit over the other side in terms of length. Unfortunately, I can't make the most of the length on the other side because otherwise it won't fit down this end. I'd like to thank everybody for all their comments that they made on my previous video to do with my running session. They've done, it's been really much appreciated, and some of you, some of those comments really kind of touched me quite a bit, because it was like, I'm just like everybody else. I just try to do the best that I can and try and move the layout forward in the best way that I feel is possible. So I'm just like really pleased with all the comments that I got, and some of the rolling stock that was there is actually here, and some of it is new. So that's where we'll go next. In terms of rolling stock. I know it's a bit more difficult. In fact, I'll go down this end because there's a bit more of a space. This is obviously my intermodal train. Now, this I bought some time ago with my Voyager from the Autumn of the Railway exhibition, and it was the first time in my last running session that the intermodal stuff was out. And the reason why I wanted to test the intermodal stuff is I wanted to make sure it ran alright. I got this dapole set from my local model shop. Well, I suppose it's my local model shop from where I work in Basingstoke, and they just had this odd pack of there, and I thought, I'll take that. And it was really reasonably priced because it's quite old stock now, but he still had it, so I bought it. So that's new. My Freightliner HIAs are also all new. I had 4 in my running session, which are these 4. I've since added these 2 to it, so I've now got a rake of 6 HIAs. I'm hoping to get another 2, so I can complete the fiddle yard. In fact, it will probably actually, because it finishes, obviously you can see it there, it'll actually take up to another 3. The reason why I'm thinking of just keeping it to 2 is because then I've got more options in terms of where I can park it on the other fiddle lanes. So that's the only reason why I'm sort of thinking, at a push I could put 3 on it and it would still fit, but then it would kind of limit which lanes I could park it in, bring it back here. The other thing that's new is my shed. I've got another new shed, and that shed is not exactly easy to get to, but it's this one just here, and this is 66532, and it's called P&O something Lloyd or something. I can't quite remember, but it's a P&O one. It's a Batman one. And I do have actually another 66 Freightliner in the old Freightliner colours, like this one is, except with the circular headlights, like the one on the Power Hall livery. So basically, I've now got one with the kind of rectangular headlights, and then I've got one with the circular headlights and tail lights on that side. I have actually got another one on pre-order, which is a limited edition from Rails of Sheffield, and I don't know when that's going to come out, but I look forward to getting that when that eventually comes out. So that's basically covers that new rolling stock and new loco. So I'm really impressed because I really liked seeing the intermodal train. on my layout running. I thought it looked really good. I thought it went round really nicely. The other thing I was having problems with, and oh yeah, actually before we go anywhere else, I'm going to show you another piece of new fleet. Something else that's cropped up on the layout is this Arctic. God, my brain's gone to mush today. I can't get my words out properly. And this is for Volmer. This is like another addition to the Freightliner lorry that I have. I've picked this one up, and this will go over at Volmer. So I'm still picking up pieces from for Volmer. I know we haven't kind of got there yet, but we are getting there slowly but surely. So I'm really pleased, and this is actually a really beautiful lorry. It really is. So I'm looking forward to getting these lorries out and getting Volmer up and running. I'm hoping that once the boards go up, the actual rest of it won't be too difficult to actually complete, but I could be wrong. I think it could be famous last words. Before we leave for the yard 1, the other thing to point out is I've also added 1 and 2, which are these two isolating points here. Those two isolating points are for, obviously, for the yards 1 and 2. One's which where the HST is, and the one next to it is, well, got an isolating point. So basically from lanes 1 to 8, they've all got their own isolating points, because for those of you who don't know, this is a DC layout, it's not a DCC layout. So that's why we've got these isolating points, as you can sort of see them all there. So everything's all clearly numbered, and hopefully should all be relatively idiot proof, and it needs to be pretty clear for me, because sometimes my brain does some strange things and I don't always remember things and stuff like that. The other thing to note is that all the rolling stock here has actually all been test run as well. A lot of this hasn't been out for a while. I mean, this one here, my little NSC DMU, has been sat in Berringer for God knows how long, and it's been sitting on platform 4 for like ages and ages. So I thought, well, let me run that, because I haven't run that for ages. So basically that's been run as well. This one has, and also my Diddy 128 that's been sat there for a long time. My 153, as you saw the other day, was part of the running session video, and yeah, I was really pleased with that. So the next bit is to go over to Barringer. Just before we go to Barringer, I forgot to mention also, I've added a couple of drawers. So I've just put some rolling stock on here. Just it's not anywhere near finished, it's just basically somewhere to keep the rolling stock out of the way. So I'm hoping to keep adding to my rolling stock. This is something else I'd like to do. So I've got a few drawers here, just to sort of, I'm probably going to add another couple depending, I'm not quite sure how it's all going to pan out, but for now I've just got 2 just to keep keep the rolling stock out the way. So now we definitely are going to go to Barringer. So here we are at Barringer station, and basically there isn't much to report here as such. My 416 has actually replaced the DMU that was always sitting there for a while, but I also got rid of the SEP, so that's cleared that platform. So I had that running as well today, because that hadn't run for a while. But the only thing to really note really is basically I've added this bench here. That's pretty much the sum of what Barringer is about, or what's been added to Barringer. It was originally one of these double-sided, and I took my Dremel and basically sliced it down the middle, which is what I did with that one and that one. So I've done the same with that one. The reason why I point it out will be clear over at Morewood station when you see the additional work that's been going on into Morewood station itself. Now whilst I'm here, actually, my little cube is sat on its little cam truck, and the reason why I mention this is because many of you have commented on some of the shots that I've been taken on my running session and all the rest of it, and I just wanted to show you just how easy and giddy and how great this little thing is. I mean, you can just literally plonk it like that, and that just basically you can take great platform shots like that, because it's just so unintrusive. It's just like, it doesn't get in the way, and you just sort of plonk it wherever you want and get your shots wherever. And the one I took one from here, and I had one like that was up there, and again it sat there quite nicely. I used a I had a Pico stairs spare, one of the subway stairs that goes on the platform, and basically I turned it upside down, and that gave it kind of a bit of an elevation and kind of pointed it in the right direction. And the thing is, this thing is so light, you can just literally just balance it and poke it anywhere you want to try and get a decent camera shot, and just put it down track side and all the rest of it. So it's a great cracking little piece of kit, it really is. If it's not a bit temperamental, I have to say, I do have to mention it. I did mention it when I did a little review on this a while back. The software is a little bit temperamental on it, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it going, but for that I just think it's like a small price to pay, to be honest with you, because what I get out of it far outweighs that little kind of hiccup, as it were. So we'll now go towards Morewood. So here we are over at Morewood station, well, the Morewood end of the layout I should say. We usually start with the folly. Now, as you can see, I've kind of taken up a lot of the ballast in here. And one of the jobs that I've had to redo is relay this section of track underneath the tunnel area. Now the reason for that is basically I had a couple of joints on the curve, and that was causing problems with it. Basically it wasn't causing problems with many of the majority of my rolling stock for a long time, and then one day I decided, oh well, I haven't run these Bachmann Mark 1s for ages, so I'll run them. And they absolutely hated it, because they just, as soon as I went around the corner, they derailed, because there was joints on the bends. And so basically what I've done is basically relayed this section of track, and they are basically running so much better now. And also my my little 143, my little pacer unit, also got derailed underneath the tunnel because of these issues that I had. So I've just relayed that section of track, which I don't mind. I mean, it's a bit inconvenient to say the least. However, I mean, I don't mind. I built the layout, I know what it consists of, so you know, if I've got to rip it up and do it again, I'll rip it up and do it again. It's not really a problem. But this has meant that I've had to open this out again, and basically, as you can see, I've patched this up. So it's just quite good to see in its raw state, because basically all I've done is just cut it out and redid it and repatched it up. And as you can see, it looks different, but however, you know, it's just painted up, and then once I put the glue down, you can quite easily cover the patch and go over it by putting static grass. This piece of rock was the original piece of rock that was here, which is a big piece that was quite all the way around. And if I show you, this is what it was, and all I've done is that big piece, I've just broken it up, and then basically I've stuck the bit that I wanted down and reblended it in. So if I wanted to, I could still break this down further and get another smaller piece like that, and then sort of use it elsewhere on the layout. So it doesn't go to waste. I mean, you can still reuse that, it's not a problem. So that's what I've done. So now what I need to do is just glue all of that and re-static grass that, but that's not a big deal. I've added this bit as well, this outcropping, and this outcropping came from the same rock that was over here, the big piece, which I've just broken up, and I've just added that piece there, but that needs a bit more blending in, but for now it's just there. Also, Morewood Station's had a huge amount of work done to it. I've spent a lot of time today on it. Basically I've added the end railings. I've also added this non-working lamp, and I've got some signage. It says keep back from the platform edge, so I've done that on both sides. Also there's been additional lighting. There's now lighting in here. This has all been glued down. I've added a few bits of just foliage, weeds or whatever it is growing up, which is one there as well. These are the tufts that you get from eBay. There's a seller on eBay that sells these tufts. There's also, I've now managed to put lighting into my platform, my footbridge I should say. So that's something else that's been done. Also, additional lighting has been put. If you go down here, you can now see that I've put a limited clearance sign. I've also put a speed restriction sign, but here I've also got a little light here. So in the evening now, hopefully that light will light up the 15-mile-an-hour sign, so when you're doing evening running sessions you can still see what the speed restriction is. So it's only down to 15 because obviously it's really tight under there. Also, I've done a lot of work up here. I've just got the station building here. Also I have basically grassed this up, put some vegetation, and again this is the other half of the seating that was over at Berringer. So this is the other half, and I've put that there. I was going to put the double here, but it just looked odd, so I decided to just to put the other half along the back there and let people just walk along here towards the platform. And then obviously you've got all the tufts and things like that just dotted about just randomly. Here we've got some fine leaf foliage on top of some other foliage, which is like the blanket stuff that you just spread out and tease out. So I've done that on the top. What else have I done? I'm still toying with the idea of what I'm going to be doing here. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, so I've just left these two cars here to whether or not I extend this path out that way. Because also what I've done, as you can see, is I've put fencing along here, and I've got some more fencing that I can use to put along here, but I haven't done that yet. And then after, we've got some lighting here to light up the station at night. There's also some lighting in the station building, and there's also some lighting on the signal box here. So a lot of work has gone into trying to get this station the way I want it, and to be honest with you, I'm so much more happier with the way that this station's come out to how I've had Morewood, the previous incarnations of Morewood station. This is definitely the way that I like it. It looks so much better like this. I prefer it like this, definitely. It's so much easier to operate because there isn't any point work around here, and also it's just a nice sweeping curve, a nice sweeping station, and it's nice. I actually really enjoyed watching the running session back and seeing the train just gliding past the station without actually stopping. So I really like that. If we move on to Fiddle Yard 2, there's nothing actually much happened here. It's still pretty much just 3 roads that go all the way around, which is what we had before. But it doesn't really matter. I'm going to still get a freeway point, and I'm going to bring that along to that. That's something I haven't done yet. But what I was doing is, one of the reasons for doing the running session is because I hadn't done one for ages, and then the other reason was the fact that I just wanted to sort of test the track as it was, to see if I needed to tweak anything. But this has come out really, really well. This video has been going on a little bit, so I'm going to cut it short in just a second. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to switch all the lights off and see whether or not the effects, you can notice the effects of the lighting at this time. So bear with me a minute and I'll switch the lights on, and then so you can see it, you see Morewood by night, and see what you think. So here's Morewood by night. I wasn't quite sure whether you could really see it, but I think it gives you enough of a glow to notice certain things. You can see that there's a light in the signal box. There's also a nice little glow from the what was a bus shelter, a Batman bus shelter I think it was. You know, I've just converted it to just a platform shelter, and there's a little light under there. It's all of this is all my £1 lighting. There's also some lighting in the kiosk, which I've managed to do. And then you've got the lighting that runs along the wall, and also there's some lighting along the back here, and lighting actually in the actual station building itself. And what I might do is I might take another shot of this later on at night when it's darker, so you can get a proper full view. And the other thing that I've just noticed, which I think is absolutely brilliant, and this is a little light I just installed today, is the one for my 15 mph speed sign. So that works out really nicely, so I just wanted to brighten it up. So that looks really, really good. I'm really pleased with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch it off, and then, like I said, in about an hour or two when it gets really dark, I'll take another shot of it so we can see what it's like really in the dark, in the pitch black. So stay tuned for that.